Hey everyone, I'm Joshua, singer, songwriter, and guitarist for Lux Interna. In my last video, I shared a bit about the backstory behind our new single, Into Night, and touched on its connection to a mystical tradition known as via negativa, the path of negation, or apophatic mysticism. I'd like to unpack a bit more about that right now. Apophaticism comes from the Greek apophatikos, which in turn is formed from two words meaning away from and to speak. In other words, apophaticism entails a practice of using language, symbols, and imagery to gesture towards something that exceeds the reach of all language, symbols, and imagery. A paradoxical form of expression that succeeds only by enacting its own failure. We could talk about apophaticism as a dimension of various religious traditions, one that appears across diverse cultures, but the tradition I spend the most time with is a mix of late Hellenic paganism or Neoplatonism and the stranger, more fringe edges of Christian mysticism. This form of apophaticism eschews the luminous language often associated with spiritual discourse in favor of a devotion to divinized darkness. For example, the 5th century mystic Pseudo-Dionysius describes a journey wherein the initiate moves from the world of sensual and rational knowledge into, quote, the luminous darkness of a hidden silence. The 17th century heterodox theosopher Jacob Böhme imagines the divine as a triple knot of tenebrosity, a groundless, abyssal hyperdarkness. And St. John of the Cross speaks of a, quote, dark night of the soul, a moment wherein the depths of despair open into an even deeper abyss, yet one that is somehow haunted by the presence of the holy. Often these apophatic mystics structure their visionary journeys in a threefold sense: a movement through catharsis or purification, theoria, inner illumination, and theosis, divine union. While I'd never say that Into Night is about this or that it was consciously inspired by these traditions, there are, I think, dark glimmers of this journey woven into the song. But if it's apophaticism, then it's apophaticism of a very idiosyncratic nature. Although I spend a lot of time with these texts, I ultimately engage them as a traveler, as a foreigner. As a scholar, I try to let the texts speak for themselves, but as an artist, the sacred is always enmeshed with the profane. The voices of the past arrive glitched, mutated, distorted by the frequencies of the present. My creative world is as much neon glow and dive bar jukeboxes as it is mystical texts and sacred hymns. The spirit is present, but so is the flesh. Thank you so much for listening.